And welcome back to Main Event Sports Show. Man, this is Championship Monday.
That's right.
This is it. Coming from the Toonerville Deli here at First and Oak Street. And we are joined by the illustrious Louisville Lacrosse team right here.
The Louisville Lacrosse team in the house.
Yes, that's right. The Louisville Lacrosse team is here. These guys making it happen.
Y'all don't understand what kind of party y'all missing out on, man. We're having a good
missing
time.
A good party. Matter of fact, as soon as we talk a little college basketball, we're going to bring some of these guys on up.
Yeah, we got some of the members of the Louisville Lacrosse team that's going to come out and speak to you all. And they're looking at me like they didn't know that. But
they didn't just now. Hey, that's what we do. We talk to people on the streets.
We're here.
That's it.
Like that guy across the street right there. Come on in and join us.
Look, let me tell you
You're on the
something,
bicycle
man.
across the street. Come on over here.
Let's
have some good times. Watch some games.
I'm kind of in my feelings right now, man. Haven made fun of my jacket, y'all. Y'all leave some comments, man. Tell me what y'all think. I got on a members only jacket.
Yeah, you do got on the old school members only.
And Haven made I got the peep game though.
Oh no!
Oh, God, you got the digital watch to go
I got
with
the digital Casio watch. You know what I mean? One of the first waterproof watches on the face of the earth.
You want to start breakdancing on us?
Yo, nah, I wish I could. Nah.
He's got the Axel Foley kid on over here.
He just did that little boom box now. The little big tape deck and the big speakers.
I'm telling you, he's at the Judge Reinhold special.
Speaking
Hey,
of
look,
which, so man,
I'm
you know what?
an 80s baby, y'all.
Let's jump into it. College basketball, hot and heavy.
Yes.
League play has started for both the University of
The Axel
Louisville
Foley special.
and the University of Kentucky. Louisville gets the win against their heated rivals, the U.
They're heated rivals.
I was really thinking the same thing.
Right?
Since when?
The fighting
whatever.
Jim Larry Yagas.
Well, in football, they're heated rivals, so, I just kind of carried that over to basketball.
Yeah, I guess.
Not really. They're not heated rivals. No.
They did play an overtime game last year.
Yeah, they did that. And then you have Alabama, UK,
Yes.
the brawl for it all. Tyler Harrell, the man who single-handedly defeated U of L.
Yeah, see, that's what I want to get to first. Before we talk about what happened when they jumped into conference play, let's go back because we haven't had a show since the U of L UK.
Let's not go back.
Can we call it a debacle?
That was an ugly game. Let's not.
Can we call it a debacle?
That was a terrible game. Look,
What were you guys' thoughts on
watch
the
it,
game?
okay, and I'm gonna bring it forward just to make the comparison to the U of L. Watching that UK Alabama game.
No.
Please, let me say this.
Okay, all right. Okay.
How Alabama won that game, not playing. I mean, they weren't like spectacular.
Yes.
Louisville should have been able to at least be in the game against UK.
You would think.
And I don't know what happened because, like I said, this is lesser, in my opinion, lesser talent than what Louisville has, Alabama. Lesser talent. And they beat UK. Louisville made UK look good. That's the point that I'm trying to make. Louisville played so bad that they made UK look so good because UK is looking bad against lesser talent. I don't know if y'all following what I'm saying. UK is not as good as Louisville made them look because they're showing their hand against the talent that's not as good as U of L.
Okay. Haven, as far as what you saw in that game, in the dream game.
Sloppy.
What did you think about it? Like, I have my thoughts on what that whole thing was about.
Timid.
But what did you think?
In the immortal words of Mobb Deep,
Oh, wow.
Louisville looked shook.
Shook. I'm telling you, they were timid.
They looked shook. They looked like they didn't have any heart.
Yes.
This was the same. This Louisville team looked like every Rick Pitino coach Louisville team.
Except that
Kentucky.
one team that won a game.
And every year we played Kentucky when Rick Pitino was here, we had one Cardinal that was like, I'm not afraid. I'm swinging. I'm taking everybody with me. Well, I'm gonna beat UK by myself. And then he had everybody else who was like,
chill out, man. We don't want to make them mad.
yeah.
Don't do that.
And this game looked just like that. Yeah,
It
one
did.
guy, Jordan Nora, who was like, I'm playing. I need some help. And Sutton and everybody else was like,
Yeah, it was basically Christian Cunningham.
I can't help you,
and
bro.
Jordan Ward was the only two guys that came out and did not play.
And Christian, God bless Christian Cunningham's soul. He's a great player. But he's not athletic enough to be that dude.
Hey, he put 20 up on UK.
He put
so
20,
I mean,
no,
if you can't do,
on UK.
20 points,
And the
4
rest of the
assists,
team
6 rebounds,
and the rest of the team 10. it was a bad.
You know what I'm
game.
saying? He put up the dub on him. I mean, you can't do too much better than that. But I'm going. This one's going to be
Because
for my man.
Because you picked you a better one by 20.
Absolutely. No, I said I thought Louisville was 10 points better.
You did.
And the thing is, they are, in my opinion. I think they are. They could be.
Yes.
If Louisville played with their confidence that they truly have, they could have beat them by 10 points. That's the thing that I'm trying. That's
We got
the point
Lawrence
that I'm trying to
Winburn
make.
in the house.
What's going on, Lawrence? My man, I ain't seen you in a month of Sundays.
Hey, how you doing, man? William Wright, man. Man, y'all don't know what y'all mean. Yo, it is truly
There
a
we go.
party.
We
It's
appreciate
truly
it,
a
man.
party here tonight.
He knows
he-
what I'm talking
already-
about.
yeah.
Just tell Chris, the bartender.
I
give
just
Hazel
had
the
my wisdom
butterscotch
teeth
special.
out, man. I can't partake. yeah. What? Everybody's
My man-
feeling bad, but just
my
have
man Lawrence
just
coming
have
in with
just,
the drinks.
Just
That's what
have
I'm
my
talking
wisdom
about.
teeth
But
out, y'all.
I know this is
can't-
one of my man right here. His favorite songs. The Cardinals had no heart.
Man, you know that the triggers got no heart. You know what I mean?
And that's what it was. Man.
trigger,
That whole game was all about heart.
Heart.
Like Kentucky came in, it was all
And they
about.
wanted it.
in
Kentucky
between
wanted it.
No, I think Kentucky came in there and they were like, Kentucky doesn't lose to Louisville. We come in here, we punk them, we win. And that was the belief
That's
with
kinda
which
what
they
they
played
did.
with.
Yeah.
And Kentucky, and Louisville came in the game saying, well, we hope we win. We hope we can play good enough. We really got to because our fans really wanted, but they didn't have any belief that they could win the game. It was completely mental. And to me, I think that Chris Mack is still trying to get these guys to understand what being tough is.
No,
I think they played extremely soft. I think they played extremely scared.
But Rob,
and
here's
they
the
did not
thing.
believe in what they were doing.
There have been other games when they haven't played that way. So
You're
it's like
absolutely
I don't
right,
feel like
but it's the rivalry.
it's the big stage,
no
like we
other
just talked
game,
about.
Absolutely.
Like we just talked about.
There's
It matters.
No other
It
game
matters.
that means as much.
It matters.
As U of L
It
UK.
does matter.
And
You're
that's
right.
why when I talked to my man Howie Lindsay, on his show, I told him that I did not feel that this game or what happened in that Kentucky game would determine anything else for the rest of the season because it's just the simple fact of it's that game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And until Chris Mack gets these guys to understand and to buy in
or
and build in
or
that
even for him to
toughness,
buy into it because
or,
he can say that he understands it, but even as the coach, it might take a couple of iterations before you to even understand what it takes to get up for the game.
Or to get the types of players with
honestly,
the toughness mentally to go in there and be like, I don't care who you are.
Yeah, we needed DeMarcus Cousins to throw somebody in the.
You see what I'm saying? I mean,
throw him in the yoke.
Sometimes you got to recruit into the guys who have that toughness to go in there and fight.
I think that's what, because all season long, Chris Mack has been harping on, I need my guys to be more aggressive. I need my guys to be more aggressive. And they haven't been.
But we've seen Louisville play aggressive.
But at the same time, I've also
Louisville's
seen
played
UK play.
aggressive.
I've seen UK play soft.
Yeah.
And that's the same. Like that's why I went to the Alabama game first because, dude, UK is not all that tough. I'm here to tell y'all, Louisville made them look good in that game. UK.
we did. But, I mean, first of all, we stood around on offense. Nobody was moving without the ball except for Christian Cunningham and Norwood, the only two guys that really moving without the ball. Everybody else was standing around. On defense,
Hey, if
they
I was
kinda
Chris
standing
Mack,
around.
as soon as we got down by about 10, I would have had McMahon coming off picks all night, draining threes.
Well, the problem is my man was shook too.
Yeah, but if you had got him wide open shots, he would have got his confidence back. See, I'm an NBA style coach, pro style. They don't run that type of. There's no pro style offense in college basketball or in basketball period. But I would create it if I was a basketball coach in college. You would be coming off picks all night, dropping them, and that would have been my game plan.
No,
off the top.
I just think that Louisville was a little scared. Michigan State had better guards than what Kentucky had.
That's the point that I'm making.
Marquette had better guards than what
That's the
Kentucky
point that I'm
has.
making, man.
There were several teams that Louisville's played. They played very well against. Tennessee has better guards than what Kentucky has, and Louisville shut all those guys down for the most part
There
on the
it is.
perimeter.
There
It was
it
more
is.
about the interior game of Michigan State. It was more about the interior game of Tennessee that
Come
won
on in,
those
folks.
games.
We got another group coming in. Yo,
so-
it's jumping in this piece tonight, y'all.
You know, in my opinion, it was just more about Louisville was not ready to play that game because the rivalry was too much for them.
It was too big.
It was too big. That they were not ready for it. And, you know,
Even though Chris Mack was honest and was like, I know this is a big game. I'm not going to run away from the game.
I don't even think Chris Mack understood.
Yeah, that's what I'm
into
saying. It's different, even for the coach. Even for the coach, they called that a touchdown. He was down. Yeah, I think he was down, but I don't think he was down by contact. So he recovered the fumble in the end zone. I don't think he was down by contact. Let's see.
It was close.
No, he's down.
It was close. It was close. But no,
I call him down.
I think that
you make the call. Remember that?
Yeah, the toughness that it takes to play in that rivalry, because the Louisville-Kentucky rivalry is so much bigger than Chris Mack's ever been in. Like, you would talk about Xavier Cincinnati. It ain't the same as Louisville.
No.
And I think that he tried to go into it with the same thing of, well, we did this as Xavier.
He was down.
And it's okay.
His left knee was down. Yeah, but it takes, like I said, it might take a couple of iterations for him to even get it.
Absolutely.
Even though he's saying he understands it.
But they'll get there. They'll get there.
Well, the biggest thing to me, it's going to take Louisville needs more talent, number one. Number two, Louisville needs killers. Louisville has one stone cold killer on the team that you can count on consistently every night to give you points, and that's Jordan Nora. Then after that, it's a crapshoot of who's going to give you buckets. Against Miami, it was Malik Williams. Actually, against Miami, everybody gave you buckets. But usually, it's kind of like a crapshoot. I may get buckets from.
Thanks, Melinda. Be good.
I know. I may get buckets from. That's my girl right there. I may get buckets from McMahon this night. I may get buckets from Malik Williams this night.
They're inconsistent.
I may get buckets from Sutton. I may get buckets from Perry. But you never consistently get buckets from the same
But they consistently have somebody that steps up. Or a collaborative step up, and they didn't have that in the UK game.
I think it's one of those things where Louisville. This is why this team has so much growth potential, because there are guys that have talent. I mean, Kristen Cunningham showed. He scored 17 points in the game, the previous game before he got injured and set out against whoever the team was. That they missed the one game just before the Kentucky game. He comes out, he has 20 against Kentucky. He has 11 points in the opener against Miami in the conference opener. He's a talented guy. I think that, to me, he's a guy who can go get his points when he wants to, but he's trying to keep everybody involved. I like when he's more aggressive, because I think it helps get other guys open when he's more aggressive.
And that's what, Chris Mack has been talking. We need to stay aggressive, because too many times guys kind of fade and kind of get timid. That's true. That's when you see Louisville's offense kind of stagnate for stretches.
And by the way, folks,
when guys don't attack.
Alabama is second and goal. Oh, touchdown! I'm sorry.
Alabama's getting touchdown.
Yeah. No. It's looked like it's going to be tied here after the extra point, 14-14. So my prediction is not looking too well right now, but I'm still sticking to it. I think Alabama by 14.
Back and forth.
It looks like a shootout at this point.
It's still the first quarter.
Yeah, it's still the first quarter, but it's looking like a shootout.
I think 31-28 isn't going to be enough points.
Right.
It's like a Big 12 game.
Yeah. But I think that moving forward, I really do believe that what we saw in the conference openers kind of bear out the facts of the things we're talking about. While Kentucky had the big win against North Carolina, but even though they were able to get the game.
Alabama missed the field goal. Alabama missed the field goal. What's going on?
He missed the extra point.
He missed the extra point.
Yeah, their kicking game has been suspect. Their kicking game has been suspect. I don't know how Alabama has a suspect kicker, though.
Because
when you're
matter.
Alabama.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's crazy. But, oh, wow.
Off the upright.
Oh, he did a Chicago.
Yeah.
He did a Chicago.
My goodness.
Off the upright.
But I think that we saw when conference play started, things kind of bear out the way we talked about it. We talked about the fact that, maybe Kentucky, they did get the big win against Louisville. They did get the big win against North Carolina. But maybe they weren't as good as what they looked in those games, and they were more like the team that struggled in the early conference.
You know what? North Carolina looked very bad against UK.
Agreed.
North Carolina looked I couldn't believe it was the number 9 team in the country. The 9th ranked team in the country. They looked awful against UK. So these teams are making UK look good.
And to that fact,
No, I'm
Kentucky
serious.
goes down on the road.
Louisville made UK look good. North Carolina made UK because North Carolina, dude, they were falling on the floor. It looked like my son's church league team.
Now, I'm going to say this about the
It
UK.
was bad.
Game.
Yes.
I'm going to say this. UK did what they had to do. Tyler Harrell got hot. Louisville had zero answers for him, and he killed us.
But they didn't stop us. That's the thing. We stopped ourselves. We had opportunities. We just couldn't put the ball in the bucket. So it's different when a team is preventing you from scoring. It's completely different than when you have open looks all night and you just cannot drop
But
them.
I tell you what, though, I give Kentucky credit. They came out that first 10 minutes of the game and were shooting like 75%. And they were hitting difficult shots. Louisville was defending them, but, I mean, Hero hits a three. Johnson hits a three. Hero hits another three. Hero hits another three. They were hot.
I mean, they were ready to play.
But they came out with the belief that they were going to win that game.
And that's
now,
what Cal does. Cal owns U of L. It just is what it is.
And when you see Tyler Hero come out the next game, go 4 for 12 from the field, 11 points, not really a big-time factor.
4 for 12. He had 12 looks.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the Louisville, Kentucky game, he was, 12 or 16?
Yeah.
He had a few more shots, but kid was on fire.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what it is. But going forward from here, for U of L to be successful, they're going to have to listen to Mac, and they're going to have to be aggressive, be very aggressive.
Hey, I'm going to tell you what.
And they're going to need, at some point in the season, Stephen Enoch is going to have to show up. I'm not sure when, but he has to show up.
I think that he's getting there. I think that Stephen Enoch, people have to understand, when you look at Stephen Enoch, you see a dude that looks like an NBA player. Size, strength, athleticism, build. He's able to step out and shoot the ball. Excellent free throw shooter. But the thing you got to understand about Enoch is two things. Nick
Saban looks pissed off right now. He is pissed off.
He's only been playing basketball for 6 years. Okay? Very young as far as learning the game of basketball. And B, when he was at Connecticut, they never threw the ball to him. He was never a quote-unquote go-to guy. So for a big man who's already going to develop slow because he hasn't been playing the game that long, for the fact that now he's going from a dude who was basically, if you want to get the ball, you got to go get a rebound and get a putback because that's the only way you're going to touch it. To go from that, 2 years of that at Connecticut, to come to Louisville to where they're going to feed you into the post and feature you, that's a big change. And I think that he will get stronger as the season goes along. He'll get more comfortable as the season goes along. But Louisville fans have to understand that when you see Malik Williams, playing better and doing better things, Malik has been playing the game of basketball since he was 2. Okay? Things are a lot more natural for him than what it is for Stephen Enoch. So Stephen's going to get there, but I don't think you'll see the best basketball from him until you get into February, truthfully. And kind of like what we saw from Nanu Adawaku. When you remember his sophomore season, Nanu was not great the first half of the year, but you got into the second half of conference play, Adawaku started to become a force for Louisville.
And I think
and I think you're going to see similar maturation from Enoch. I just think it's still too early for him to take over, but he will get there. I definitely think it's going to happen.
Like I said, to me, it's going to be about, can Louisville find another consistent scorer that can put fear in the other team's heart? Or the teams have to game plan for.
Right. Well, I'm going to tell you what Patino said before he got ran out of town. On his last recruiting trail, he said that from now on, I'm shooters. I need pure shooters. I don't want people that I got to bring into town and teach them how to shoot. I'm going after snipers. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And that's the kind of thing that we need to have here. That's what wins championships in today's game. That type of play wins championships. When you got guys who can shoot consistently on a nightly basis, you can't stop a shooter from scoring. That's the thing, man. You can't, because all he needs is an open look. You cannot stop a shooter from scoring. And if you have a team full of good shooters, you're deadly.
No, I'm going to say this,
and I think we saw that. We saw Louisville had 14 threes yesterday against Miami. Yeah. I think that's what you're talking about.
But you got to have it every night, though.
Bombing.
I never trusted Rick Pitino recruiting shooters. Ever. Rick has always said, this is the greatest shooter since everybody. And they all suck. Mike Mara, horrible. hit the broadside of a barn. I mean, good Lord, all these guys. He's the greatest shooter I've ever seen.
He
They all
recruited.
crack.
He had Luke Hancock.
Hey, but you know what? When you look at Ryan McMahon, you look at Jordan Wara, you look at the way Malik Williams has come along as a shooter. Darius Perry, has been close to a 40% three-point shooter over the last couple of seasons. I think these guys have lived up to it. I mean, even now Dwayne Sutton's knocking down threes. So, I mean, I think they're living up to it, but I think that last year, I mean, I always keep hearing about, well, I don't want to say anything about David Padgett. I'll say something about David Padgett.
I'm gonna say this about David Padgett.
No, if y'all gonna hate on him, because I'm telling you straight up, David Padgett got 20 wins, and the man was coaching the team without assistance the first several games. I'm not putting up with nobody hating on David Padgett.
No,
he should have went to the tournament.
I'm gonna say
he had 20 wins. What 20-win team doesn't go to the tournament?
I'm gonna say this.
Out of the ACC.
He had VJ King starting over Jordan Nora.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
And still got 20 wins.
That's true. There were several games where he didn't even play Jordan Wall.
Okay. Do you think UK would be sitting or going to the NIT with 20 wins?
I mean, but Louisville had 20 wins and didn't beat one good team.
It don't matter. Do you think
absolutely
matters. Does UK go to the NIT with 20 wins?
Depends on who they beat.
No.
I mean, because at the end of the day,
no.
Louisville did not have the resume to get into the tournament.
Stop it.
I was supportive of them not being left out because they just, frankly, didn't have a win versus a tournament team. And when you don't beat any tournament teams, how do you get in the tournament?
And you know what? You're a traitor, and we already know that. We already know that, Rock.
Hey, man, that's real. I mean, I love Louisville, but last year they didn't deserve to go.
I would never root against Louisville getting in the tournament. I don't care if they had 10 wins.
I mean,
if they're going to let them in, I'm for it.
If Louisville would have beat Virginia, they would have been in the tournament. Guess what?
No, they probably would have found a reason not to let them in.
traveled, Louisville lost. At the end of the day, that's
Scott Padgett's fault. That's David Padgett's fault. Because Dangadale traveled, that's David Padgett's fault.
Hey. You are what your record says you are.
David Padgett did an excellent job with what he had.
Padgett
he did a better job with what he had than some of the best coaches in this country could have done.
The man that you love, Rick Pitino, said that he would have took that team to
I
the
gotta
Final
love him.
Four.
Okay,
David
I do love
Padgett
him.
didn't even get him to the tournament.
Okay, I do love Rick Pitino. I'm sorry. And he's coaching again. He's coaching overseas.
He's
a Greece now, but you know what? Let's kind of flip the script. Talk a little Kentucky basketball.
Okay.
No.
Kentucky fell apart against Alabama. Didn't have a good game.
Avery Johnson came into town with that tight suit on and his perfect afro with no gray hairs.
Here's Avery Johnson in one of the huddles timeouts. Fellas, you got to keep him from shooting the ball. Just go get the ball and just shut him down, fellas. That was what he told them.
And they did it. And it worked.
I mean, Alabama is always a team that has a bunch of athletes. They went out there and just out-athleted Kentucky.
What about my Hilltoppers beating Wisconsin during the break?
Yeah. You know what? Somebody always. We're definitely not talking West Kentucky basketball.
What not?
Western Kentucky is like the most Jekyll and Hyde basketball team. 1 minute they beat Wisconsin, next minute they lose to Bellarmine.
Well, hold on, it wasn't Bellarmine, but they were up by 20-something points.
Western Kentucky, also known as Duffel Bag South, for all them duffel bags they had in all them kids.
Hey.
But they did beat Wisconsin.
They beat Wisconsin.
And they have beat West Virginia so far this season.
Two good wins.
Very good wins.
Yeah, they take them to the bank.
I tell you what.
Take them to the bank.
Do they play Louisville this year?
No.
And Louisville better be glad because Western's balling this year. And they could come in at Youngstown and beat them this year, I guarantee you.
Best players money can buy. But I digress.
You got to do what you got to do. If Western had a better coach. But honestly, though, if Western had a better coach.
Satterfield?
But if Western had a better coach, they wouldn't have the players they're getting. Stansbury
does
his thing.
Stansbury is a good coach.
Yeah, he's good.
He's a magician. He's a good recruiter.
Yeah.
Y'all hating. Y'all just mad because Western's a Nike school now. Louisville's still rocking Yeezys.
But you know what? I do want to ask you about Kentucky. What do they need to do? Like, first of all, people thought that all the ills were over after the win against North Carolina, after the win against Kentucky. A lot of people were talking about they're back. This is who they're going to be. They're going to go out there and win. To me, I don't see enough talent on this Kentucky team. I don't see, like some people are projecting. I've seen some draft experts talking about they see Keldon Johnson possibly being a top 10 pick. I don't really see that from them. Do you think they have enough talent to go out there and even beat Tennessee in their own conference or Auburn for that matter?
I think they have the talent, but they don't have the coaching.
Honestly, to me, it depends on which
This is
Kentucky
true.
team shows up.
Is it just does it come down to Tyler Herro? If he goes off, they win, and if he doesn't, they don't?
Honestly, I think it does. I think all it comes down to which Kentucky team shows. If Tyler Herro is gunning and knocking down shots, and then he kind of brings everybody else along with them, and they get that energy going, Kentucky can beat almost any team in the country except for Duke and maybe Michigan. However, but if Tyler has an off game, they can't generate enough offense from the other guys on the team to overcome that deficit. Hagans is a defensive specialist, but he's not going to put up a bunch of buckets.
I don't disagree with you at all, but in terms of their talent, on paper, Kentucky is loaded.
I don't see it.
I do.
I don't see it.
I see it.
Like last
I can
year,
see it when they're on the
court. You saw
court.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 6'6" point guard, a guy who was picked in the top 20 in the NBA draft. You saw a dude with an elite, an extreme skill set, a guy who go out there. You could see it. You had a Kevin Knox, a 6'9" shooting guard with a money mid-range game, could knock down the three, had the talent, had the size. Like Keldon Johnson's a 6'5" tweener forward guard. You have Tyler Herro, who's 6'6" shooting guard, but physically weak, not really any sort of a defensive player, not a great athlete. You have Ashton Hagans, who's a 6'2", 6'3" bulldog guard. He can defend. He's not a great shooter. And then you have the guys down low. You got P.J. Washington, who some games he wants to look like Larry Johnson. Other games he wants to look like
Perry Johnson.
Vinny Johnson. You know what I'm saying?
Grandmama.
So you don't know what you're going to get from him. And then at the, in the middle, you have Jordan Travis. You have Reed Travis, who, is a very accomplished guy when he gets the ball inside 3 or 4 feet.
Yeah.
But he's only about 6'8". So, we even saw Stephen Enoch keep him from scoring. So when you have that, none of these guys jump off the page in terms of their ability. You can talk about on paper and recruiting rankings, but when you look at those guys out there on the court, Louisville handled Kentucky's inside game. It wasn't about that. It was about Herro and those guards getting hot. So I just don't know. Like, to me, Tennessee is going to destroy Kentucky.
They should.
On
paper,
I
they
don't
should.
believe it.
But to me, the thing is, now I know people don't want to give Calipari credit for being a coach, for being a good coach. People, I'm here to tell you, Calipari's a good coach. I know what you're thinking, but he can actually coach. He's actually a very good coach.
But I do want to say that's within the prism of Kentucky being a national championship contender. Kentucky is a tournament team. Kentucky is a top 25 team. And I think Kentucky's going to have a good season. But I'm saying they're not the team that everybody was predicting that, this is going to be the national champion.
No, before the season, they're a Final Four team.
No, everybody picked Kentucky to win the national championship. Everybody.
Is that a Final Four?
No, everybody. And literally every college basketball analyst that I saw, from Andy Katz on down, they all picked Kentucky to win the championship. That's not who they are.
No, that's who Duke is.
Kentucky's not even close to that.
That's who Duke or Michigan is. Kentucky is like, you can make it to a Sweet 16 team if we get hot on a run.
Yeah.
And
But they usually
that's
do.
Kentucky.
But we know that's Kentucky's. That's their thing, though. They get hot late in the season. That's what they do.
But we'll see.
That's their
We'll
MO.
have to see. I just think that their issues, their deficiencies inside, they're going to need for Nick Richards, and they're going to need for E.J. Montgomery to get a lot better. Because there's a reason that Reed Travis, people want to talk about, you got a former McDonald's All-American who's a senior transfer. There's a reason why he's a 6'7" senior McDonald's All-American transferring schools.
And not playing
because he wasn't good enough to go to the NBA.
Les Miles has a commercial now. I told y'all. Look, it's happening. It's already happening.
I
told them Les Miles should have been the coach for U of L.
No.
They should have went after Les Miles. Kansas picked him up. I'm telling y'all, it's happening already. He's got a Dos Aggies commercial. It's happening.
Like them old man coaches. But I don't see it for Kentucky in terms of getting to that level. I think they'll have a nice run. They may go to a Sweet 16, but that to me, that's who they're going to be. They're going to be a 5, 6 seed, something like that. They're going to finish probably 3rd or 4th in the SEC, and they're going to be all right. There's nothing wrong with that, but
No, to the UK fans, there's a lot wrong with that.
Oh, absolutely.
But folks, again, we're at the Tunaville Deli on the corner of First and Oak. Come in on the side entrance on the Oak Street side. We're having a watch party. We got wings, we got drinks, pizza, sandwiches, appetizers. We got the U of L lacrosse team in the house.
Hey.
Would some of you like to come up and say a few words? We got the Louisville lacrosse team. We're going to have them come up and represent the team.
Absolutely. You got to at least give a shout-out to somebody.
Y'all got to come up and give a shout-out to the team or something.
That's right.
Give a shout-out to the coach or something.
This
Here
the
it is.
It is. Come on up. Now, you know what?
You come around back right here so we can get you on.
Get my seat right here.
Good to go? Yeah. Good to go. Oh, thanks. First and foremost, thanks for having us on here.
Oh, heck yeah, guys. Appreciate it.
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
Well, I'm enjoying their wings and the beer.
Hey, man, these guys over here around the lacrosse squad is rowdy when they come to watch the games. I never knew.
We just try to do it the right way. That's all I can say.
Hey, so first of all, give me your names and tell us a little about what happened with Louisville Lacrosse and what's going on with the future of the program, man. Let me know.
I want to say this is Big Daddy.
Yeah, I'm Coach Mattingly.
Okay.
I'm offensive coordinator, goalies coach.
Okay.
My first year with the program. I'm excited to be here.
Welcome.
So, yeah.
Welcome. How you enjoying Louisville?
I love it. I'm actually from here.
Okay.
Graduated in 2009 from St. X. So.
Awesome.
excited to be back.
So tell me about the great guys that you have with us tonight. Who all's in the house tonight?
Oh, heck. All right. Well, one, I'm Sam Browning from Louisville, played at Louisville. We have some of the guys. We got Chop Reyes, Andrew the Chop Reyes, midfield.
Chopper.
We got Chopper. We got Ryan McCauley, head coach.
Okay.
We have Clay Thacker, midfield. We have, where did everyone go?
They heard that you were going on the microphone. And everybody
the spotlight
ran away.
scared them away. That's what it was. Spotlight scared them
I
away.
will say they might have had a few too many drinks, and they might have to get a little bathroom break here. But I will say,
No, actually, they're bringing in the
it's
cavalry.
Great deals
That's what it
here.
is.
Bringing
That's what it is.
reinforcements.
I mean, we're not mad about it. But no, we're out here just trying to grow the program and try to make things big here in Louisville, just as every other sports program within the university. I mean, we're just trying to do the damn thing, you know.
And lacrosse is a big underdog in the state of Kentucky. You got your big football, basketball, baseball, soccer, and we're really trying to help grow lacrosse.
Okay.
Through high school and youth too. So
Okay.
we're real happy about that. University of Louisville, they have regional scholarships that we can give out. We go to Chicago, we go to Atlanta, we go to Evansville. We do a whole bunch of different stuff.
So let me ask you, when you're recruiting for lacrosse, I'm not sure how big the lacrosse culture is here in this area or in this region. Do you recruit specifically players that play lacrosse, or do you recruit players that are athletes that play other sports and try to get them interested in lacrosse? How does that work?
In trying to get guys to come out and play lacrosse in general,
Yes.
a dual sport athlete's what we're looking for.
Okay.
A guy that can wrestle, a guy that can play basketball, a guy that can play, a few different, football. A guy that can just get up and down a field.
If you're an athlete, you have a spot on the team for sure.
Pretty
I mean,
much.
it's something that we can work with you. We can. The fact is, if you can run and you're physical, we have a spot for you.
We'll teach you everything else.
That's what's up.
So
Let it be known that we actually offer an opportunity for a fundraiser during our show here on Monday nights, where you all can come out, you can invite guests out, and 15% of the proceeds for all the sales during our podcast are donated to the team or whatever cause you have.
Absolutely.
So please keep that in mind and feel free to contact us. We'll make sure to get somebody's contact information before you leave out, and we'll reach out to you all if you want to come through during the off season, during the on season.
Of course.
bring
Absolutely.
as many
Talk
people,
about what's going on in the season.
family and
Absolutely.
friends. And, like I said, 15% of the proceeds of every dime that's spent during the podcast will be donated to the team.
that's awesome.
That's an opportunity for you all to raise funds if necessary.
And it's a direct representation of why this is the greatest sports city in the world, right?
That's it. That's
That-
it.
everybody looks
and
out.
The greatest sports
That's it.
podcast
Hey,
in the world.
now speaking of which, I
mean,
know
if
you
wanna
guys
know
have
that
been.
is, if you want to know the truth, this is the greatest podcast in all the
There it is. Absolutely.
Cardinals. Let's do the damn thing.
Now let me ask you guys, what are y'all
Main
thinking about
event
the
sports.
game
That's
tonight?
the best cosign we can have right there. There it is. There it is.
What are y'all thinking about the game so far? It's I saw most of you guys are cheering for Clemson to get the upset over Alabama. What do y'all think about the game?
I personally don't think it would be an upset.
Okay.
I think they're two of the best teams.
Yeah.
I definitely would like to see Georgia in there as well. It could be a Clemson Georgia matchup just as much it could be a Clemson Alabama one.
You know what? I just want them to boot the SEC out. I just want once for the SEC not to have a team in it. How about that?
I actually don't wish that. I wish there was a 5-year span where it was one other team than SEC. It was 3 SEC teams and one other team.
Yes.
And they would win every year over those 3
You know
SEC
what?
teams.
You know what? I would like that.
I would love
like that.
Just to prove to
I
them that
honestly
the
just wanna
odds
see-
are in everybody else's favor.
I just want to see it expand. I want to see at least 8 teams.
That would be awesome.
Or a play
I'm
in.
saying at
There-
least
there
8.
could be a play-in.
I would love to see 16.
Yes.
Okay, all right,
I agree.
All right, Michigan might need to take a lap.
Florida
Might
likes to
need to take a
think
lap.
different on that one.
Hey,
I think we got a Michigan
respect
fan in the
Michigan,
house.
But I mean,
Hey,
y'all might need to take a lap or two before you can come with the big dogs. You know what I'm saying? now, all I gotta say. All right, are we going on a tangent?
No, hold on. No,
My wings might be getting cold.
I'll say one thing. Before moving back here
Yes.
for the past 5 years, I lived in Michigan. That is one of the greatest cultures that I've probably ever been a part of was in Michigan. The Detroit, you got the West Side, and then Ann Arbor, East Lansing.
Anytime you're
It's
putting
awesome.
100,000+ in a stadium,
all in the same
that's real.
color,
Absolutely.
all cheering the same thing. It's true.
Well, you know what? I expect for Louisville Lacrosse to start putting the butts in the seat because they're going to put a product out on the field
Yes,
that's
sir.
going to draw them in.
Yes,
they're gonna
sir.
turn people away.
Yes, sir.
That's what I want to see.
And it all started right here.
That's it. You know what? I appreciate you, fellas, man. Thank you for coming out.
Hey,
Man,
thank you
enjoy
all.
the game. We're going to be hanging out with you guys, watching the game. And you know what? You have the main event sports show and now the biggest fans of Louisville Lacrosse, man.
Thank you guys so
Main
much.
Event Sports
Absolutely.
Show, best podcast in the world.
Hey,
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it, man.
Thank you
Thank
all.
you, guys. Thank you.
Louisville Lacrosse. Friends
There
of the
it is.
show, Louisville Lacrosse.
That's it, man.
There it is.
Appreciate them.
And
guys.
we'll let y'all know when they're going to be coming back for the fundraiser. We'll do a fundraiser for the team.
Absolutely.
And we'll let y'all know when they'll be back out to join us.
That's what I'm talking about right there, fellas. Oh, yeah. Man, Alabama.
Y'all want to know how live it gets here at the
that's
show.
right. It's
Y'all don't know. Y'all just don't know,
Hey, that's
man.
what we do.
The Tunaville Deli is
Hey, ain't
jumping
no party
tonight.
like a main event party.
Hey.
The main
Hey, you
event
know,
party
hold
don't
on.
stop, bro.
Let me give a big shout out to my man Darren Kane over here.
That's it.
Lawrence Swinburne. We got Miles
We got
Morton.
Miles up in the house.
Miles, come on over here for a second,
It's
Miles.
official.
Absolutely.
Come on over here. You know what? I want you to take, no. Take my seat.
Oh, take your seat.
Take my seat here.
Hey, take a look at this mic. See what's
I get your mic too.
No. That mic's not working.
He's getting it together for you. We're going to get it together.
So go ahead, take my seat. I'm going to kind
Mic
of
check. 1,
crouch
2.
in behind
Mic
you
check.
here.
Mic check. Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check.
So give us your thoughts, sir, on the
up?
greatness it is. First of all, tell us about your great podcast, when it is.
Oh, yeah. So they do have the greatest podcast in the city, but I do have the greatest U of L UK rivalry podcast in the city. I'm the Louisville fan, so it's okay. But, yeah, I do have a podcast, A House Divided. We do it at Tavern on 4th Street, live every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So far, we've been killing it, man. In fact, we broke a record on the day of the UK U of L game. We had over 10,000 views for our U of L UK podcast special. So we actually beat Nick Coffey. We beat Matt Jones. We beat everybody. So and we only started this year, so it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
There we go. So
sir.
give us your thoughts about this U of L team.
Oh, this basketball team?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll tell you this: they're going way farther than I thought. I had the great opportunity of talking to Ryan McMahon not too long ago, right before the game. Actually, I talked to him on Thursday. his boys was in town. So Ryan McMahon, if y'all don't know Ryan McMahon, man, he has a really strong friendship with a lot of his friends back from Florida, and they all flew down here just to see him.
Oh, wow.
And he even told me, man, they was just real nervous for that UK game. That's why you saw some of those mistakes, people dropping the ball and things like that. But the Louisville team, they're doing great. Once they found their offensive flow, I feel like VJ King had a great game last game against Miami. I told people he finally got his hair braided.
He
That's
got the
what helped.
cornrows. That's it. That's
Yeah,
what he needed.
he got the cornrows now. We can't call him Kelly cornrows now because he's in trouble. But, yeah, man, he got the cornrows now, so he's doing great. I feel like they're doing fine. Defensively, they're fine, but once they find that offensive rhythm, we're talking about a Sweet 16 team at least. So they're a pretty good team. I'm telling you, we got at least a Sweet 16 team.
I definitely think they have the talent to do so. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
But you know what, Miles? I got to ask you about Kentucky since my man over here don't like to break down the Kentucky analysis.
Why are we talking about Kentucky?
I mean, you got to talk
Kentucky,
about
why? We've already talked about it for like 45 minutes. That's enough.
With them
Are we going back to Kentucky?
beating North Carolina, beating U of L, but then losing to Alabama, who is Kentucky for real? Are they the team that lost to Alabama? Are they the team that beat North Carolina?
Yeah, I know I'm like the nerdiest person in the world.
Yes.
So let me give you a Pokemon reference. They are Ditto. They play to their competition.
Okay.
They are literally a carbon copy of whoever they play. And that's the biggest issue that Calipari has had year
Except
after
for Duke.
year after year.
Except for Duke.
Duke's, let's be real,
Right,
Duke's
right.
on another
Different
level.
Right.
Duke's different.
But year after year, Kentucky plays to the level of their competition.
That's true.
Well, here's the danger for Calipari this year. The SEC is not the SEC
No,
of
it's
the
a
90s
strong
or the
SEC.
80s or the 70s or any SEC that we've ever seen.
strong
You're talking
SEC.
about we have NBA coaches coaching
Yeah.
Alabama. We have
Avery
Bruce Pearl
Johnson.
looking. Yeah, exactly. We got Bruce
We got
Pearl looking for
Tennessee.
revenge.
Yes.
So Kentucky needs to play Kentucky ball, but the problem is Kentucky can't shoot. The NBA and the NCAA right now is a shooter's league.
Well,
they can't shoot threes, though.
You're dependent on one kid who's a true freshman.
Exactly.
Who's not. It's not like you got Malik Monk.
I mean, but what does Calipari do every year?
Yeah.
He
tweak.
depends on one kid,
And he- but he
and
know-
praise to God it happens.
But what else does he do every year? He comes up with that tweak somewhere about going into March Madness.
Yeah, the tweak. That's true. The tweak is always
And
real.
then they figure something out. They
The
get a
tweak is
wild
always real.
hair up their ass and start beating everybody.
So we'll have to see what happens. Hey, and that's you say Kyle Perry can't coach, brother. That's
He
the
can't.
proof of
No,
a
he
great
can't.
He's a
coach
manager.
right
No,
there.
we all know Calipari
That
cannot
ain't an
coach.
accident.
No,
That's not an accident.
what he does, he's a good recruiter, and he's a manager, as he said, a manager of egos and of personalities.
That's coaching.
And
though.
yeah, you're right, because everybody knows.
So like this.
Whoa, no, because we all know Phil Jackson's my biological father. We know that, and he was the master of managing personalities and bringing people together. So yeah, no, for real, y'all can see the similarities.
Hey, the cerebral.
He flew in town for Father's Day. We're not gonna do all of that though.
He's the cerebral.
And that works in the
assassin.
NBA.
It works in the
But
NBA.
in the college level, you have to build, you have to teach.
You do.
Some of these kids, they're still playing pickup games on a live court right now, man.
Yeah.
You got people who don't know where they need to be.
Well, it's hard to do all of that in 6 months. You know, if they're not going to be there after their first year, you can't do but so much teaching.
It ain't hard for Coach K.
Ooh, did
Hey.
he just do that? UK fans, Rocky in the blue sweater,
It's not
undercover
hard for
fan.
Coach K.
Ooh, he just did that.
Hey, I mean, and you know what? Let's keep it real.
He just did it. UK fan.
Since Carl
He
Anthony
compared
Towns
Calipari to Coach K.
and Scal Labissiere, Coach Calipari hasn't had a top 5 recruit the last 4 years.
But Coach Calipari doesn't care because I'm going to tell you something else. We're all older. Some of y'all older than me. But
Yes.
I got to say
Shots?
something. I said it on my
Shots?
show, and I'm going to say it on this show. The Kentucky fan base has gotten lax. The Kentucky fan base has started accepting mediocrity. When I was growing up, the thing that UK fans used to get on my nerves with, if we don't make it to the Final Four, and if they don't make it to the championship, it's a lost season.
Yeah.
UK fans have become basically the social media basketball team of this era.
No, some of them.
Some of them.
Yeah,
but
'cause
here's the
there's some of-
problem.
there's some of them calling for Calipari to be
But
fired
thing is
tonight.
this, as long as Kentucky's in the media, as long as they're on ESPN getting 30 for 30s, as long as they are getting the entertainment, they're happy. They're not caring about championships no more.
Well, I mean, but I think you're in a tough spot to me if you're a Kentucky fan.
The
Because
Big Blue Madness is
Kentucky,
what did it.
they're-
Big
they're
Blue
still-
Madness is what did it.
They're still ending up with the number 1 and number 2 recruiting class every year.
And doing nothing with it.
And
Nothing.
The problem is that if you get rid of Calipari, are you getting the number 1 and number 2 recruiting class? Because that's the whole thing. Is if Calipari goes away, who's coming in?
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about college basketball
Coach
is
K's
this.
not walking through that door.
Here's what I love about college basketball compared to football. Football, you need those recruiting classes. You need that meat. You need that muscle. Who won two of the championships so far? Villanova.
Yes.
And they've had decent recruiting classes.
Absolutely.
But one thing, even though I'm not a big Patino fan, Patino,
I
it
was
didn't
gonna say
matter
Duke.
who's on his team. Because you know what? His bench is going to do something. Somebody's going to do something. You have to make up a matchup every week. Just having the number 1 recruiting class does not guarantee you a Final Four, Elite 8 appearance.
Well, see, I think that's the double-edged sword of the one-and-done game.
It
Because
is.
in the one-and-done game, you've only got so many elite guys. You only
Right.
have so many Ben Simmons that's going to come through. You only got so many Zion Williamsons. But when you have Duke that's going to bring in Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and Cam Reddish, like that's taking all the one-and-dones from everybody else because, you can have kids that come in and stay 1 year, but that don't make you a one-and-done. That makes you a player that don't like school. Basically.
Like Ben Simmons. Like, honestly,
there's a difference.
Honestly, I feel like Ben Simmons, even to this day, I'm a Celtic fan, so I still don't see what the whole hype about Ben Simmons is. It's cute. I mean, he has done nothing at LSU. He has done nothing at Philadelphia, but y'all want to parade him around like he's really that great. It's cute. You got to get it done with me.
Ben Simmons had like
My
20
man.
triple-doubles as a rookie, so
I mean, that's adorable.
I can't hate on that.
Yeah, you can have 20 triple-doubles as a rookie, but at the same time, good job, Clemson.
Uh-oh.
Go ahead,
Hold
Big
on,
Bama.
hold on.
I
Y'all
love it.
missing
Keep going.
We got another turnover. Clemson
Another
just
interception.
Hey,
And Clemson's up 21-16.
this game.
Another interception.
This game reminds me of the Deshaun Watson versus Alabama game, the part 1.
I still say Alabama by 14.
Clemson outplayed Alabama, but at the end of the day, Alabama got those 3 turnovers, and that was the difference in the game. And this game is coming down that same type of situation right now. I mean, defense wins championships, man.
No,
I mean,
I
and
still
right
say
now,
I still say
Clemson's
Alabama by
forcing the
14.
turnovers.
But back to your point, too, about the one-and-dones.
Yes.
My thing is this. This is why I like Coach K better than manager Calipari. Coach K, no matter what happens, if Zion goes down, he has somebody in the backup who's not going to be Zion Williamson. He's not going to be Zion Williamson, but at the same time.
Don't nobody have another Zion.
No one has another Zion Williamson, but who do you trust more? Are you going to trust Coach K if one of your star players go down? Or are you going to coach Calipari who, when Noel went down and they went to the NIT? Coach K can actually coach his bench. Calipari can't.
No, he cannot.
All I know is this, is that Coach K's teams were looking real average until he decided to get into the one-and-done game. Because when he brought in Okafor and Justice Winslow and Trey Jones,
No, and a lot of UK fans are
that
pissed.
changed, that flipped the
because
script for them because he saw what he needed to do.
Yeah, because Coach K, he gets a lot more credit for the one and dones nowadays.
But
than
you got
Calipari
to
does.
get the monsters, and that's been the thing. Is that Calipari's not getting the Karl Anthony Towns no more. He's not getting the Anthony Davis type
Because what do
guys
the great
no
coaches
more.
do? The great coaches adapt to the climate.
Yeah, that's like I say in sales. Either you're leading or you're following. If somebody else is doing something, you need to figure out what they're doing and do it too.
The problem
Or like
is,
Ricky Bobby would say, either you're first or you're last.
That's it. That's it.
I just think that Kentucky's guys, and this is the situation. Look at Kentucky last year. I thought SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I think he made the right move going pro. Kevin Knox, he made the right move going pro. What's Vanderbilt doing? What's the other
still
kid?
alive?
You know, what the other young man that left? They had 7 kids that left last year to go pro,
And most of them shouldn't have left.
and should have been 2.
But no. But what y'all don't understand, it's a revolving door. You have to leave. If you don't go pro, he's going to convince you to transfer.
I mean, because
he doesn't have the space left for you.
I look at a guy like Charles Matthews who transfers to Michigan, and this kid's one of the best players in the Big Ten now.
15-0.
You know,
Look,
15-0.
undefeated.
At Kentucky, we've seen it year after year. If you don't go pro, you're transferring.
See, to me, that's the problem, is that Kentucky is not getting enough kids that have enough talent to be good, as third.
But you're trying to.
Where's Darius Miller?
No. But hold on. You're trying to turn him into a coach, and that's not going to happen. See, no. Seriously, if if you're talking about him keeping kids 2-3 years and teaching them something, you asking for too much.
No, see, and
You're
know
asking
what?
for too much. He
I'm
wants
gonna
kids
tell
to
you
come
this.
in ready to play.
And I'm gonna shut.
If
I'm
you
gonna
don't win
shut
it this
that.
year, we'll see
Shut
you
it down.
somewhere else.
I'm not a big
Yeah,
Kentucky
you gotta
guy,
go.
but I love Calipari. Calipari's
I
a
do
very
too.
good coach. Calipari took
Dude,
UMass.
He had
He
Drake.
took.
Dude, He had Drake and Big
He
Blue
took Marcus
Madness.
Camby and Three Stooges.
He took Marcus Camby and 3 dudes that was on the team for GPA to the Final Four. That's talent.
And he had Drake and Big Blue
That's
Madness.
talent. I mean, the dude can coach.
But then he got lazy, and that's the thing. And let me tell you something. My mom used to tell me because my mom was a coach. My mom actually took Ballard High School and track to win a state championship.
That's pretty dope.
My mom has broken multiple records at WKU.
Dude.
My mom would have been on the same team as the Olympics back in the 60s.
How many people can say that?
But watch
my
this.
mama is a
Let me
coach.
tell you what my mom could do. My mom could take a mule and turn him into a thoroughbred.
There you go.
Calipari cannot take a mule and turn him into a thoroughbred.
He goes and gets thoroughbreds.
He needs a thoroughbred to
And
win.
if you don't
he
perform,
needs a Derrick Rose.
He shoots you.
If he doesn't have it, he needs a Marcus Camby.
He has to have it.
If he doesn't have it, he has nothing.
And I think that's the situation that he's in right now. Is because right now Duke's the hot property. Everybody's going to Duke. Nobody, Kentucky's still getting good players. They're just not getting great players. And I think that's the biggest difference right now. And when you have these kids that are coming through 1 year, you can't have what Villanova has. Villanova had 5 starters that were all extra year players. All those guys had 4 or 5 years in the program. You're not going to have that at Kentucky. So he's in a tough spot. I think either fundamentally he's going to have to change the way he coaches, or he's just going to continue to have these up and down results.
This word coaching.
Come on, man.
Just stop it. He said he's going to have to change the way he coaches.
Come on, man. Hey, he took UMass from a nobody program to one of the best programs in college basketball.
Dude.
You can't hate on it.
Dude.
I mean, even before Marcus got there.
No pun intended. His mom's a coach, and he just told. And when a son of a coach speaks, people listen.
That's harsh.
Okay, you heard what this man just said. Calipari needs thoroughbreds to be in the race. You come to his school, you convince him you're a thoroughbred, you don't perform, he shoots you. It's over. You got to go. We convinced him that it was best for him to go.
Harsh.
What was the one he told to go home and take care of his daddy? What was the one that transferred? He said he was going home to take care of. Clemson scored again. 27-16.
Man, I said 31-28. There's still 4 minutes left in the second quarter, and Clemson already has 28.
Alabama by 14.
Yeah, I should have took the over. My goodness.
And he probably won't.
My goodness.
This is still the first half, y'all. Alabama by 14.
Big 12 game done broke out. What is this, Texas Tech and Iowa State? My goodness.
We all know Nick Saban's got the refs in his back pockets. He's got speaking of remember the Titans, we walked over to him. You don't give my boys a chance. And
Hey, I want them to do the march in like the remember the Titans.
Who are the Titans? Who are
That's what I
the
want to see.
Titans? We are the Titans.
Hey, that would have been tight.
That would have been. But Nick Saban's not having it.
But fellas, I think we about to wrap it up here so we can party with the lacrosse squad. See my man Lawrence kick it.
Hey, the show
Great
might be
show.
over, but the party is just starting.
That's right.
It ain't
Hey,
over. What Teddy Riley
1105
say?
South First Street.
Party's
man.
not over.
That's it.
It's not over.
Ain't over.
Ain't over.
Look, we at Tunaville Deli on the corner of First and Oak, coming to side street, Oak Street entrance.
Hey,
side Oak Street entrance.
get the main event wings, man. The main event sauce is off the chain.
No, we done told you.
It's off the chain.
It's jerk
Get it.
and barbecue mixed together. The
It's
jerk and
amazing.
wings, amazing.
It's amazing.
It is
They
what
got
it
good
is.
pizza.
sauce.
They got good drinks. Y'all are missing out. If you're sitting at home watching this game, you lost.
What you doing?
You lost. We're having a ball in here, y'all. We got a packed house, pool tables, foosball tables. We got Gallagher. We got Gallagher over in the corner.
They're
That's
gonna
it.
have the foosball tournament.
And we got Clemson beating down Alabama.
Hey.
Hey, yeah,
Take it to the stage, sucker.
they are. Look, we gonna be like
ACC.
we gonna be like UK fans.
Don't start that.
We gonna root for the conference. when we can't. No, UK didn't do that thing this year, but usually they root for the conference because they ain't got nothing else to root for.
As you know, I always hear Louisville fans always want to talk about you're supposed to hate Clemson and supposed to hate Dabo Swinney. I love Dabo. Dabo's a cool dude.
He's the man.
I like Clemson's football program. I'm not, I'm
Can't
okay
hate.
with saying it. I'm not hating on him.
Can't hate.
You know what? Best of luck, Clemson. Get it done for me. Make me look good, man. And have you got any parting shots, man?
Yeah, I got a parting shot to all you football players out there watching us right now across the nation or in the region. We just had Louisville's lacrosse team here. Let me tell you something. Jim Brown made the Syracuse
That's it.
on a lacrosse scholarship. Lacrosse could be your way to your football scholarship.
Hey, that's real.
That's real.
That's right.
And he said it sounded like Dusty Rhodes.
I can do like Dusty Rhodes,
Oh, I know you can.
but I'm not. But I will. Did they have me here at the Benjamin Porto? But standing now, right now from Tuna Deli. I'm Haven. That's Dusty Rhodes right there. What you got? He's lost. Rock.
I was going with Daffy Duck, but whatever.
No, that's Dusty Rhodes. The man, the greatest lisp in all of wrestling. Only beat out by Cool G Rap with the greatest lisp in all of rap.
There it is. And we're done. Here's the outro. Y'all know about this. Rocky on the mic. Yeah, it is. Performing live.
What's up?
The main event theme song performed live. Here you go.
Thank you for everybody coming out to the main event sports
Got the
show.
lyrics already.
If you didn't know the bad boys of radio, each and every sport back and forth
What's the
they
lyrics out
discussing.
for it?
Our covers on point while others stay
What's the
struggling.
lyrics?
If you don't know, better find out. Main event, here to prove a point. Number one, best believe that. Don't turn the dial from the main event. Don't turn the dial from the main event.
Look.
Don't turn the dial from the main event. Don't turn the dial from the main event, cause all other shows are irrelevant.